Hey everybody, my name is Megan Hatcher-Mays. I'm the Director of Democracy Policy at Indivisible, and I am here today to give you an update on what else? Democracy. So here's what's been going on. As I'm sure you've seen, just a few weeks ago, the Senate went on recess, even though they hadn't yet passed the For the People Act, also known as S1. Now, Senate Democrats tried really hard to get this bill through. They tried to force a vote, but Republicans, even though they're in the minority, blocked the bill from consideration. So we didn't even get an up or down vote on the bill at all. Republicans, very specifically Ted Cruz, objected to the bill even moving forward. So because Republicans don't like democracy, I guess none of the rest of us get to have democracy. But here's the good news. Don't fret yet. The good news is even though they went on recess without having passed this bill, Majority Leader Schumer committed to bringing the For the People Act up for another vote when the Senate returns from recess in September. So we expect the Senate to come back around September 13th, and then that's when we want to see some immediate action on the For the People Act when they come back. Here's the other bit of good news. By the time the Senate comes back from recess in September, we expect the House to have passed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Now, that's a bill that would restore the sections of the Voting Rights Act that the conservatives on the Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice John Roberts, gutted back in 2013. This bill is critical as well. And in fact, it's really important that both S1 and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act both pass because these bills work best in tandem. So the For the People Act kind of looks backwards and says, hey, what are some bills that have already passed that are detrimental to our democracy? And that bill, the For the People Act, would override some of the worst state laws that we've seen, making it more difficult for people to vote. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act looks forward in time and says, how can we prevent bad bills from passing in the first place? So as you can imagine, it's great to have both of these bills. You kind of can't do one without the other. That means the Senate has the chance to pass both of these bills when they come back from recess in September, because the House will have sent the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, in addition to the For the People Act, to the Senate for consideration. Now, here's where you come in. Of course, you need to keep calling your senators. We need everybody on board, not just with passing the For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, but with reforming or eliminating the filibuster. There is no Republican who supports these transformative democracy reform bills, let alone the 10 you would need to overcome the legislative filibuster. We need to get rid of it. Democrats have a majority and they should use it for this. They should use it to fix our democracy. So that's really important. So make sure you're calling your senators, even if they've said good things about the filibuster and democracy in the past. Just make sure, just double check. And we need you to urge your senators to then urge Joe Biden to get involved. For whatever reason, President Joe Biden has been sitting on the sidelines while we all play this game of life or death for our democracy. We need all of our players on the field. We need our MVP, and in this case, that's Joe Biden. So he needs to get involved too. And the best way to convince Joe Biden is to convince your senators, because they can go to him directly and say, hey, I'm hearing from my constituents. We need you in the game on democracy. So make those calls, rest up, make more calls, and we'll see you in September to pass the For the People Act.